We throw that term around all the time, right? A Faustian bargain. It's become our shorthand for any deal that feels too good to be true, a trade of something priceless for a taste of power. But have you ever really stopped to think about where that story actually comes from? The original deal? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
So, let's get down to it. When we say Faustian bargain, what are we really talking about? What was actually on the table in that very first story? And what was the terrifying price that had to be paid?
To find the real answer, we have to go back. I mean, way back. Not to the famous plays or the sweeping poems, but to what you could call the original source code for the entire legend. A German book from 1587, the Faust book. This right here, this is where it all began. All right, so first things first, the bargain itself. This is the absolute heart of the story, the central exchange that gets the whole terrifying ball rolling. You see, this original pact is the engine that drives the whole narrative. But forget about complex negotiations or clever loopholes. This was a stark, brutally simple transaction. It was designed from the ground up as a moral allegory about an exchange that is, from the very beginning, terrifyingly imbalanced.
Let's just break down that imbalance, because it's kind of staggering. On one side, Faust gets forbidden knowledge, unlimited earthly pleasures, supernatural powers. I mean, it sounds pretty tempting, right? But then you look at the other side of the ledger. The price isn't just a small piece of his soul, it's the complete surrender of it. He's trading these temporary gifts for something the text itself calls infinitely more valuable. Just let that sink in. This isn't just a bad deal, it's a cosmic-level catastrophe from the moment it's signed.
Now, a deal this straightforward needs an equally straightforward villain. So who's the other guy sitting at the negotiating table? Let's meet him, because his simple, chilling character is absolutely key to the story's entire purpose. Yeah, if you're picturing some charming, complex anti-hero, you gotta toss that idea right out. The Mephistopheles in the 1587 Faust book is pure, uncut villainy. The text describes him as a one-dimensional, malevolent villain, an unambiguous representation of evil. He has one job, and one job only, the relentless pursuit of Faust's soul. He's a predator, plain and simple. And make no mistake, this simplicity is completely intentional. It's not a flaw in the writing, it's a brilliant strategic choice. By making Mephistopheles pure, unambiguous evil, the story just erases any moral gray area. You're not supposed to sympathize with the devil here. The focus stays locked squarely on Faust and the absolute horror of the choice he's making. So, you've got a crystal clear deal and a crystal clear villain. What does that all add up to? Well, it builds the story into an unambiguous cautionary tale, one designed to teach a very specific and very chilling lesson. You have to remember, for its 16th century audience, the Faust book was basically a sermon disguised as a story. It delivered 3 huge warnings. First, it was a warning against hubris, that kind of pride that makes you think you're above the rules. Second, a clear warning against straying from the righteous path. And third, and this is maybe the biggest one, it was a powerful lesson against short-term thinking, showing the absolute foolishness of choosing a few decades of pleasure over an entire eternity. To make this abstract spiritual danger feel real, the story uses this absolutely fantastic analogy, something its audience would have understood in a heartbeat. The pact is framed as a loan, but not just any loan, a dangerous, high-interest loan on your very spirit. And this is where the analogy gets truly brilliant. Mephistopheles isn't just a demon. He's framed as the ultimate cynical banker. He offers instant wealth, knowledge, power, pleasure, all of it, right now. And the only collateral he asks for? Your priceless, eternal soul. He's the ultimate predatory lender, and he knows with absolute certainty that you're going to default. I mean, that financial metaphor was just genius for its time. It took the abstract fear of damnation and made it feel as real and terrifying as debt and foreclosure. Faust's tragic end wasn't just a possibility, it was a mathematical certainty. The deal was done. So, we've looked at the pact, the villain, and the warning. What's the one big idea we should really take away from this original blueprint? It's this. The original story is not subtle. It is a straightforward, direct, and incredibly powerful cautionary tale. There are no mixed messages here at all. So to finally answer our original question, what is a Faustian bargain, according to the original text? It's this: the act of trading something eternal and infinitely valuable, your soul, for gains that are fundamentally temporary and worldly. Simply put, it's the worst deal in history. And here's the real genius of the original story: its simplicity. By creating such a clear, stark moral blueprint, the Faust book laid the perfect foundation. It set the stage for a literary evolution, providing the bedrock for all the complex, nuanced versions of Faust that would come later. Think about it. You couldn't have the complex, tormented Fausts of Goethe or Marlowe without this stark black and white original. This story had to come first. It had to establish the terrifying stakes with absolute clarity before other artists could come along and start exploring all the fascinating gray areas. And that's really the final transformation, isn't it? The legend that began as a simple, external warning about a monster eventually evolved into a dark mirror, reflecting our own internal battles. It holds up our ambitions, our temptations, and that timeless human struggle between what we want right now and what truly matters forever. The only question left is, what do you see when you look in it?